Hello, you're watching VNA News Bulletin. I'm Dung from Hanoi, and now the headlines as usual.
Laos top leader Nguyen begins Vietnam visit. Canada-Vietnam Society makes debut. Children join hands to protect environment.
General Secretary of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party and State President Nguyen arrived in Hanoi on April 25th, beginning his official friendship visit to Vietnam at the invitation of Party General Secretary Nguyen and State President Chen Đại-quang. This is the first overseas trip of General Secretary and President Nguyen since he was elected as top leader of Laos.
A solemn welcome ceremony with the highest rituals for a head of state was held at the Presidential Palace under the chair of Party General Secretary Nguyen. Right after the welcome ceremony, the two leaders held talks. Party General Secretary Nguyen describes the visit as an important event that takes place after the National Party Congress in each nation and the election of the 8th Lao National Assembly. He expressed his belief that the visit will be successful, contributing to promoting relations between the two parties and states in the time ahead. For his part, General Secretary and State President Nguyen said the visit to Vietnam in his first overseas trip as party and state leader shows that the party and state of Laos and he himself attach great importance to preserving and enhancing the friendship, special, loyal, and pure solidarity and comprehensive cooperation with Vietnam. The Lao leader congratulated General Secretary Nguyen on his re-election as head of the Communist Party of Vietnam for the 2016-2021 tenure. He affirms Vietnam is always a trustworthy and close friend of Laos, and expressed his belief that under the leadership of the Communist Party of Vietnam, the Vietnamese people will record more significant achievements in order to basically turn the country into a modernity-oriented industrialized nation and raise the country's position in the region and the world at large. Later on the same day, Prime Minister Nguyen met with Party General Secretary and State President Nguyen. Having briefed the guests about Vietnam's socio-economic situation, Prime Minister Phuc affirms that the government of Vietnam will do its utmost, together with the government of Laos, to further develop the traditional friendship and comprehensive cooperation between the two countries, and effectively implement cooperation mechanism approved by their senior leaders. The Prime Minister suggested Vietnam and Laos strengthen their solidarity and coordinate closely at regional and international forums, and maintain ASEAN's stance and common voice in matters that are important to the region, including the East Sea issue and the sustainable and effective use of water sources in Mekong River. General Secretary and State President Nguyen informs the House of Laos socio-economic development. He asserted that the party, state, and people of Laos will join hands with their Vietnamese counterparts to elevate the traditional friendship, special solidarity, and comprehensive cooperation to a new level. The leader proposed the governments of Vietnam and Laos work together more closely to effectively implement cooperation projects in economy, trade, and investment. Also, on the afternoon of April 25th, National Assembly Chairwoman Nguyen had a meeting with General Secretary and State President Nguyen. Nguyen informed the guests about the outcome of the 11th session, also the last session of the 13th National Assembly. Regarding legislative relations between Vietnam and Laos, the top legislator suggested that in the coming time, the two sides should enhance cooperation and share information and experience in making laws, inspecting, and deciding the country's major issues, such as cooperation agreements between the two countries. General Secretary and State President Nguyen proposed the two legislatures step up bilateral cooperation, exchange experience, and coordinate closely in matters of mutual interest. He also affirms that the Lao people will spare no effort to lift the bilateral relationship to a new height.
Prime Minister Nguyen has urged ministries and relevant agencies to soon remove obstacles facing enterprises and issue decrees guiding the enforcement of the enterprise law and investment law.
The Prime Minister made the request at the first meeting of the Cabinet standing members on April 25th, where they discussed measures to remove difficulties since the law on enterprise and the investment law took effect on July 1st, 2015. Prime Minister Phu stressed the importance of reform and creating favorable conditions for business and production activities, as well as protection of business rights. The leader requested combining the implementation of the two laws with the government's resolution on improving the business climate and national competitive edge, and creating the best conditions for people and enterprises. He also assigns the Ministry of Planning and Investment and other relevant agencies to soon issue the guiding decrees for the two laws before July 1st, 2016, to replace the invalid ones. According to Minister of Planning and Investment, Nguyen, the obstacles have arisen mainly during the implementation of the investment law. They include the incompatibility between the law's regulations, the government's decrees guiding the implementation of a number of the law's articles, and other related regulations. Difficulties on collecting, reviewing, and reforming regulations on business and investment conditions, and those arising in business and investment registration procedures are also among the obstacles facing enterprises.
U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Thomas Vilsack is paying a visit to Vietnam with the aim of fostering bilateral cooperation in the fields of agriculture, forestry, and aquaculture. At the reception for U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Thomas Vilsack, Prime Minister Nguyen expressed his hope that the U.S. will increase its support to and coordination with Vietnam in agricultural production and response to climate change. He also suggested U.S. government to provide support in improving personnel capacities, renovating technology, as well as enhancing food quarantine towards cleaner production. The Prime Minister asked the U.S. to soon license the import of Vietnamese farm produce such as mangoes and star apples, and adjust policies to facilitate the import of Vietnamese cha and basa into the U.S. market. Vilsack affirmed that the U.S. attaches importance to the comprehensive cooperation with Vietnam and cooperative ties in agriculture in particular. He said the U.S. were willing to send experts to help Vietnam cope with climate change, drought, and saltwater intrusion, adding that his country will also facilitate the import of Vietnamese agricultural products. The Canada-Vietnam Society has made its debut at a ceremony in Canadian capital of Ottawa. The event saw the attendance of more than 100 overseas Vietnamese people and delegates from Vietnam's representative agencies in the country.
Addressing the ceremony, Vietnamese ambassador to Canada Dung said the Canada-Vietnam Society is expected to contribute to developing the friendship between the two nations. Co-founders of the association, Nguyen said the society aims to connect overseas Vietnamese people in Canada as well as with Canadians, particularly in culture, education and trade.
Members of the association are expected to support each other, helping them to successfully integrate into Canadian society and contribute to boosting bilateral relations between the two countries.
The 250,000 people strong overseas Vietnamese community has contributed significantly to Canada. They have also served as the bridge connecting the two nations.
China became the biggest importer of crude oil from Vietnam in the first quarter of 2016. More in the following report.
Statistics released by the General Department of Customs showed that Vietnam exported 1.2 million tons of crude oil to China in the first quarter of 2016, raking in $323 million, up 253,000 in volume and 130% in value as compared to the same period last year. As such, China emerged as the largest market of Vietnam's crude oil. In total, Vietnam shipped abroad 1.82 million tons of crude oil worth $498 million in the first 3 months, representing year-on-year decreases of 17.4% in volume and 47.2% in value, respectively. According to the Ministry of Finance, Vietnam's crude oil export has suffered impacts from a steep decline in global oil prices in recent years, severely affecting the state budget.
Cultural researchers and visitors have had a chance to contemplate golden books and seals of the Nguyen dynasty. The objects have been on display at the Hue Museum Royal Fine Arts in the central province of Thừa Thiên Huế.
The emperors of the Nguyen dynasty took the gold seals as a symbol of the supreme power of themselves and the monarchy. During 143 years of reign, from 1802 to 1945, the dynasty had more than 100 jade and golden seals manipulated. Meanwhile, golden books, compiled by emperors or high-ranking mandarins, contain valuable information about the imperial history, morality, official regulations and ceremonies, while featuring lives and careers of the emperors, empresses and princes. After the Nguyen dynasty ended, most of the precious imperial objects were moved to Hanoi and preserved at the National Museum of Vietnamese History.
Raising awareness about environmental protection for children toward a green, clean, beautiful environment is the goal of an annual activity hosted by City of Smart International Education System in Hanoi. More details in the following report.
Coloring, painting pictures under the theme of environment. Conducting experiments on water filtering. Or testing the soil keeping capacity of plants. Joining the Green Earth program in response to Earth Day, kids had a chance to learn while playing with fresh and interesting activities.
Just wonderful.
I feel very happy.
I find it very interesting to join other people. The teachers taught us with many new skills.
The event targeted children aged between 2 and 8 with the aim of raising their awareness about natural resource protection, saving and hygiene.
We believe that children are never too young to learn. We are teaching them to turn off the water when they do so we don't waste any water, to again, make a planet greener and cleaner.
Green Earth also includes outdoor activities for families, where kids are free to play and show their personalities, while parents could, together with their children, discover more about their surroundings.
Educating children on the environment cannot rely on schools only. Parents also play a very important role. That's why there are so many parents coming here today to join hands with our school, so that their kids can build a cleaner and more beautiful world.
In response to Earth Day, the event provided a soft yet effective education method, raising awareness about environmental protection among young children, thus building a green and sustainable future.
For your explaining about Earth Day.
And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. Thanks for joining us and goodbye for now.